Alright, today we're going to work on comparing fractions. Now, here's a couple tricks when you're trying to compare fractions. First, if the numbers are if the numerators are the same, the fraction with the smallest denominator is the greatest fraction. Well, let's take a look at these two fractions we have right here. There's four pieces all together, so my denominator is 4. Two of them are shaded green, so my numerator is 2. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces make up the whole thing, and two of them are shaded green. So I have two eights. So right here, my numerators are the same. So which denominator um, is smaller? The 4. So that would be the greatest fraction. So 2/4 is greater than 2/8. And if you look, these two shapes are the same, and a greater area, or more of it, is colored green here. So it makes sense that 2/4 is greater than 2/8. Alright, so right here we have 2 shaded in out of 8 again. And over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded in out of 8. And let's look at this rule. If the denominators are the same, so here both the denominators are 8, the fraction with the largest numerator is the greatest fraction. So here, so that means that 2/8 is less than 5/8 because 5/8 is greater. So if we look, that can help us compare fractions. Now, it doesn't really make sense to draw a picture every time we need to compare fractions. So what I like to hone in on is this rule here. Okay, the denominator being the same. And there's a little trick to help us with that. We're gonna cross multiply to compare fractions. Alright, so this is what we do when our denominators are not the same, when the denominators are not the same. So say I have 5/7 and we'll say 4/6. Alright, 4/6. And we're going to compare these two fractions. Now, something I can do to get the denominators to be the same, I can multiply the numerator by 6 and the denominator by 6 over there, and over here I'm going to multiply the numerator by 7 and the denominator by 7. And the reason I pick 6 here is it's the other fraction's denominator. Here I pick 7 because it's the other fraction's denominator. And when I do that, I end up with 30. 6 times 5 is 30, 6 times 7 over 42. And I end up with 28 over 42. All right, and now if you notice, my denominators are the same. Okay, so now I can compare these two fractions, and I know that when my denominators are the same, I just look at my numerator. Whichever numerator is greater, that is the greatest fraction. Okay, now to do that a little quicker, we do what's called cross multiplying. Okay, so I'm going to show another example over here. We're going to do 6/9 and let's do 5/7 again. We'll see what happens. Okay, now instead of multiplying a 7 up here and a 7 down there, a 9 here and a 9 there, I can just cross multiply. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the 7 times the 6, and that is going to equal 42. And I'm going to multiply the 9 times the 5, and that's going to equal 45. Okay, now it is important, you do need to go from bottom to top. You do need to go this way because of what we did here. Like you're multiplying the 7 because it's the denominator there, so we're switching it. So here we need to go from bottom up to the top. And so we did 7 times 6, we got 42. 9 times 5, we got 45. So that would mean that 5 5/7 would be greater. So 6/9 is less than 5/7. And I'm going to do one quick other one to show you that they can also end up being equal. So I'll do 1/2 and 6/12. Okay, so I do 12 times the 1. Okay, I got to go from low to high, and that will equal 12. 2 times 6 equals 12, and that means those two are equal. All right, so we can draw a picture every time, but we need to make sure our pictures are drawn to the same size, and each segment is a size that we need it to be, which can be very difficult. Or we can cross multiply, which is just going from denominator to numerator, going up, denominator to numerator, and then just comparing those two numbers. And that is an easy way to compare fractions.